Chu Qing's heart raced as he stared at the mysterious girl, confusion and anxiety coursing through his veins. Where am I? What kind of situation is this? He wondered silently, his thoughts racing faster than his heartbeat. With a sudden jolt, he leaped out of the bed, his mind racing. The girl's voice was strangely calm as she said, "Did the effect of the drug wear off so quickly?" "Well, forget it. It seems people who are awake are more attractive." The enigma deepened, leaving Chu Qing to grapple with the reality of his bizarre circumstances. Chu Qing's mind raced with confusion and disbelief. Did I get reborn? He pondered, struggling to make sense of the implausible situation he found himself in. Memories of his 300-year journey in the realm of cultivation at Qingchang Mountain flashed through his mind. He had toiled relentlessly to gain knowledge and practice ceaselessly, all in pursuit of becoming a legendary swordman cultivator. His goal had been to reach the elusive realm of eternity, but fate had a different plan. Instead of reaching his goal, he had opened a mysterious hall of time and earth, which now had transported him to the age of 17. But the pressing question remained, who was this woman, and what did she want from him? With a hint of embarrassment, Chu Qing stammered, "Looks like we misunderstood a little. I'll leave." He turned, ready to make a hasty exit. The woman, known as Yeni, was undeterred. She teasingly implored, "Come on, honey, don't be shy. Get over here." Chu Qing, still perplexed, responded, "Why don't you go out and ask when have I, Chu Qing, ever let go of my pigeons? It's a blessing that you get to see me." The tension in the room hung thick as they stood on the precipice of an enigmatic encounter. As Chu Qing made an attempt to flee from the perplexing situation, Yeni's grip on his hand tightened. In a flash, he mustered his inner energy to resist, and she was taken aback by his surprising strength. Chu Qing realized that his current body did not possess an abundance of energy, so with a swift move, he broke free and scrambled to get to his uniform. In haste, he made a dash out of the room, leaving Yeni behind. Outside, the sight that greeted Chu Qing was beyond comprehension. He marveled, 300 years. I finally returned to Earth. Father, mother, brother, finally, I can see you guys again. His heart swelled with emotion as he took in the familiar surroundings of the city. However, as he looked around, he couldn't help but overhear a group of girls lamenting, Men are really troublesome. Isn't that just buying a bag? Why should you cry? Don't cry, I'll buy it today for you." The city had clearly changed in his absence. Chu Qing was taken aback when a woman told him, "Kid, move aside, don't block the road." He couldn't help but think, what the heck? What happened? The people here are different from when I used to live here. It seems women have the majority, and they're the ones in charge of everything. Chu Qing found himself in a world he couldn't understand, and it was a puzzle he was eager to solve. In the quiet solitude of the library, Chu Qing delved into the texts that chronicled the history of the world he had mysteriously arrived in. It was a history unlike any he had ever known. The writings spoke of an ancient cataclysm that occurred between the seasons of spring and autumn, a catastrophe that had a profound impact on the physiology of women, rendering them smarter and stronger. One name stood out amidst the annals of history, Kong Mo, a woman who had risen to prominence and developed an ideology that advocated the superiority of women over men. This ideology had brought about a dramatic shift in the balance of power, transforming the imperial rule from being led by princes to being governed by princesses. As Chu Qing continued to read, he discovered that, in the 21st century, societal values had evolved, challenging the once unquestioned belief in female superiority and male inferiority. Yet, the idea of women being highly esteemed in this world still lingered. Extramarital affairs took on a different form here. Instead of disapproving of unfaithful men, it was considered normal for women to pursue men with fervor. The revelations of this new world left Chu Qing both astounded and intrigued. He knew that he needed to adapt and understand the societal norms and values that differed so drastically from his previous reality. The library had become his haven of knowledge, a place where he could begin to make sense of the world he had been thrust into, and uncover the secrets that lay within. Chu Qing's mind was still reeling from the shock of the world around him, where gender roles were starkly reversed. He couldn't help but contemplate, this world is truly insane. Women are undeniably dominant, to the point of actively pursuing men. If this is how society has changed, I can't help but wonder how it has affected my family. Upon returning home, the sight of his father filled Chu Qing with joy, prompting an enthusiastic embrace. His father, however, immediately began questioning him. Didn't you say you were going to your friend's house after school and that you might be late? He then noticed the scent of perfume on Chu Qing's hair and probed further, were you with a woman? How many times do I have to remind you that it's perilous for a young man like you to venture outside? Even when you're with friends, you must remain vigilant. Look at this news, a 15-year-old boy believed his classmate was harmed, Chu Qing's father continued, emphasizing the gravity of the situation. Do you understand how frightening this is? Your sister has been idling around the house all day. She graduated from a less prestigious university and hasn't been able to secure a job. Your mother and I may not have high expectations for her, but we hope for better from you. You should aim for a reputable university. You're still young, avoid being misled by negative influences, Chu Qing responded, seeking to reassure his father. Dad, I understand. Don't worry too much. Where's Mom? His father replied, your mother is currently discussing business matters with people outside. Unfortunately, our family's business isn't faring well. With a sense of responsibility, Chu Qing proposed, I believe it's time for us to have dinner. I'll go and call my sister. As he opened the door to his sister's room, what he found left him in a state of shock. Chu Qing's sister emerged from her room in response to his noise. He playfully questioned her, you weren't watching adult content in there, were you? His sister laughed and replied, what? What's so good about that? It's the age of live broadcasts. Hee, it was a handsome guy with a great body, watching it was fun. But hey, these things aren't suitable for little boys like you. After a while Chu Qing and his father were engaged in conversation, his sister appeared again. She announced, I'll be dining out with my friends and might return home late. Father, can you give me 1,000 yuan? Her father inquired, why do you need to go out? She explained, I have to meet my friends for socializing and business. We're working on some projects together. Her father, somewhat resigned, responded, you're always like this. You should learn from your brother. If you were even half of what he is, your mother and I wouldn't have to worry. His sister retorted, why should I learn from him? In the future, he can marry a wealthy woman, but I have to fend for myself. Mom and Dad will have to support me in the future. Reluctantly, her father handed her the money and advised, save some of it. It's not as easy as you think for your mother to earn money. So, don't squander it. Chu Qing, concerned for his sister's well-being, questioned his father, is it okay to let her go out like this? His father sighed and replied, what else can we do? Your sister is a girl. We can't confine her like I did with you. Girls need to go out and earn a living, but for your sister, well, we should just hope she stays out of trouble. Just as they were discussing this, his mother returned from work. When Chu Qing spotted her, he rushed over and embraced her with a warm hug. Chu Qing's mother noticed his unexpected behavior and questioned, why are you suddenly like this? Isn't your allowance enough? She handed him some money. Chu Qing remembered the times when his mother used to be so frugal that he had to occasionally deceive her just to get a few yuan to play games in a cafe. Now, she was giving him money as if it were of no concern. He replied, Mom, I don't need it. His mother insisted, silly, keep it. Our family is going through a difficult time, but I won't let that affect you. Your academic performance is my greatest source of pride. Curious about his sister, Chu Qing asked, where is Chu Xiao? His father replied, don't even talk about her. His mother expressed her frustration, she's still fooling around, that's not how I raised her. Eventually, she'll realize the importance of her future responsibilities. As he watched his parents, Chu Qing couldn't help but think, what's going on? Even though I know that this world is upside down, seeing my parents like this, I can't accept it, he informed his parents, father, mother, I'll be in my room, and retreated to his own space. In his room, he contemplated the peculiar dynamics of this world where women were held in higher regard than men, and every family aspired to have daughters. This change had evolved over centuries, resulting in a significant shift in the male-female population balance. Opening his table drawer, Chu Qing found many love letters, which reminded him that he was the school flower of Jinmen's secondary middle school. Determined to cultivate his abilities and leave this world as soon as possible, he harnessed the rich and pure aura around him to recover his lost training and abilities from the Hall of Time and Space. With these newfound powers, he could open the Hall of Time and Space and return to his original world. He knew he had to escape from this strange upside-down reality. After some practice, he felt himself growing stronger and decided to test his powers. Just then, he received a call from his sister, who was in trouble and urgently requested that he not inform their parents or the police. Chu Qing was determined to help his sister when he received the call. His sister instructed him to find a black bag under her bed and bring it to the Crescendo Bar on High Street. However, the situation took a dangerous turn when someone forcibly took the phone from his sister and threatened that if he didn't bring the bag to room 302, they would harm her. Without hesitation, Chu Qing located the bag and swiftly jumped out of the house through a window. He was resolute in protecting his family, thinking, I won't let anyone mess with my family. He leaped across buildings, determined to reach the bar where his sister was in trouble. Upon entering room 302 at the bar, he found two women holding his sister. As soon as his sister saw him, she cried out his name in relief. Chu Qing tossed the bag onto the table and demanded that the women release his sister. One of the women remarked, Hey, kid, your face is a lot cuter than in the photo. How old are you? Chu Qing brushed off the question, stating that it didn't matter. The women then opened the bag, revealing it was filled with money. His sister was shocked, wondering how the money got there. Chu Qing couldn't fathom how she didn't know, as there was at least $1 million in the bag. His sister explained that Xiao Lin asked her to hold on to the bag for a while. One of the women scolded his sister, accusing her of stealing the money. She said, Xiao Lin dared to steal my money. She then told his sister to leave before changing her mind. As they made their way to the door, the woman asked, When did I say your brother could go? Your brother is young and cute. You can leave, but your brother stays. In this tense situation, Chu Qing's sister stepped forward to defend her brother, determined to protect him. She declared, I won't let you touch him. Joe, don't bring my brother into our business. Let him go. Joe, one of the women, responded by saying that if they were letting him go, Chu Qing's sister should stay instead. She warned that if she left, she'd have to work hard and shouldn't blame her afterward. Chu Qing's sister decided to stay, asking her brother to go home first, assuring him she would handle the situation. She emphasized that it wasn't safe for him to stay. Chu Qing hesitated, questioning their moral standards. He also confronted Joe, asking if they really wanted him there, his tone filled with anger. Joe responded aggressively, threatening to harm Chu Qing in various ways. Before she could finish her sentence, Chu Qing struck her in the face. His sister watched in surprise, and Joe retaliated, attempting to hit him back. They engaged in a physical struggle. Chu Qing couldn't help but notice the immense strength of the women in this world. Joe ordered her subordinates to attack Chu Qing, but he confidently challenged them. He defeated each one who came at him. As he made his way toward the door to leave, Joe threatened to shoot him, claiming her bullets were faster than him. However, Chu Qing's sister stepped in front of him and begged Joe to spare her brother's life. Joe remained unrelenting, vowing to kill them both right there. At this critical moment, someone unexpected arrived and commented, Haha, what an interesting view. Why wasn't I invited to this? Suddenly, Yi Chenxi, the woman Chu Qing encountered when he first awoke in this world, appeared on the scene. Chu Qing was surprised and asked why she was there. Yi Chenxi confidently asserted her authority, saying, This place is mine. She then turned to Zhou Yun, the woman who had threatened Chu Qing and his sister, and declared, "I'll take care of him." "Go away," Zhou Yun, still puzzled and concerned about breaking the rules, asked, "Are you crazy? Wanna break the rules?" However, Yi Chenxi remained resolute and gave a chilling order to her subordinates, "Take her, cut her feet and hands, then throw her in the streets." This was a severe response, and Zhou Yun immediately began pleading, saying, "No, please. I'm sorry I said that." It seemed that Yi Chenxi had taken charge of the situation. Yi Chenxi turned toward Chu Qing and asked if he liked the present she had given him. Chu Qing questioned her, asking if she was being kind to him. She confirmed this, stating that he was the first man who had dared to talk to her in that way, making him different from others. She then declared her decision, saying, "You're gonna be my boyfriend number 36. Chu Qing, however, declined her advances, explaining that he wasn't interested and could handle himself well. Yi Chenxi challenged him, asking if he was seriously comparing her strength to his. Chu Qing's sister couldn't believe what he was doing and expressed concern over challenging a woman as strong as Yi Chenxi. Yi Chenxi questioned Chu Qing's confidence, to which he replied by proposing a game. Chu Qing suggested a game, with the condition that if he won, Yi Chenxi would never bother him again. Yi Chenxi accepted the challenge, but she had a condition of her own: if she won, Chu Qing would be her boyfriend. Chu Qing agreed to the challenge, setting the stage for an intriguing competition. As the challenge began, the other girls were in disbelief, with some commenting that the idea of Chu Qing challenging Yi Chenxi made no sense. They believed they would play with him until the end and considered men to be like water while women were like iron. However, Yi Chenxi had a different perspective on the matter, indicating that she had prepared something special for Chu Qing. In this world, it was clear that women were remarkably strong and that men were perceived as something insignificant. Yi Chenxi was determined to show Chu Qing the vast difference between men and women, comparing it to the abyss between the ground and the sky. The competition between Chu Qing and Yi Chenxi began, taking the form of a wrist fight to determine who was stronger. Chu Qing confidently stated, "I'm not an ordinary human," and ultimately emerged as the victor in the contest, defeating Chenxi. After winning the wrist fight against Yi Chenxi, Chu Qing confidently declared his victory and reminded her not to forget about their bet. He then proceeded to take his sister and walked towards the door. One of Chenxi's subordinates suggested going after Chu Qing, but Yi Chenxi shut them down. She was surprised by Chu Qing's strength and emphasized to him that a man like him was destined to take care of a woman's wings. She maintained her offer, stating that if Chu Qing said yes, he would become her husband, and no other women in Jinmen could lay their hands on him. Chu Qing, clearly unswayed by Yi Chenxi's perspective on men and women, responded that men didn't need to be glued to women. He believed that men could make their own paths, work hard, and strive for improvement. His view differed significantly from Yi Chenxi's. As Chu Qing walked outside, Chenxi expressed her admiration for him, emphasizing that he was just her type and she had no intention of letting him go. It seemed that Chu Qing's strength and independence had caught her attention. Her subordinate said, "Miss Yi, we need to go back immediately, you probably know that." "Go back?" Chenxi replied, "But I only came out for 2 days, why would I go back besides, now?" "Stop calling me that, my sister is still alive." As they made their way home, Chu Qing's sister couldn't shake off her concerns. She turned to him and cautiously asked, "You won't tell our parents about what happened, right?" Chu Qing didn't hesitate with his response, "Of course I will. What would you do if I wasn't there to help you? Do you believe they wouldn't be worried?" His sister's eyebrows furrowed, and she countered, "Are you trying to threaten me with what just happened?" "True, since when did you get that strong? Why won't you marry Yi Chenxi in the future? She's the heiress of a very important family here in Jinmen. Then, if you marry her, I would benefit from that. Even though I'm a few years older than you, aren't I?" Chu Qing's patience wore thin, and he warned her, "Shut up. One more word, and I'll send you back to that bar." With that, they continued their walk home, the weight of the recent events hanging in the air, leaving both siblings with much to ponder. That night, Chu Qing resumed his training, determined to reach his true strength as quickly as possible. He knew that his current power wasn't sufficient to navigate the complex and often perilous world he had found himself in. As he focused on honing his abilities, he discovered that he could improve his eyesight, allowing him to see more clearly and sharply. However, as he tested his newfound skills, he couldn't help but notice his sister still indulging in adult content. He shook his head in disbelief, muttering to himself, "That perverted girl. She's far worse than my sister from the original world." The following day, as Chu Qing walked towards Jinwen Secondary School, he was greeted by a familiar voice calling his name. It was his best friend, Lin Dong. Their unexpected reunion sparked a whirlwind of emotions and questions about the strange world in which Chu Qing now found himself. Lin Dong seemed concerned and asked Chu Qing about his recent absence and the rumors of trouble. However, Chu Qing dismissed it, not wanting to divulge the complexities of his new life. He had a nagging feeling that Lin Dong was no longer the friend he once knew, but he couldn't be sure. Someone familiar approached him. It was Songcha Oren, the class president. She inquired about his well-being, and Chu Qing, not one to pass up a meal, mentioned he was hungry. Songcha Oren offered him some food, emphasizing the importance of feeling his best for the upcoming university entrance exams. With a newfound friend in this bewildering world, Chu Qing felt a glimmer of hope. The bully girl confronted Chu Qing and demanded to know if he had read her love letter. Chu Qing, who was growing increasingly frustrated, used his newfound abilities to push her away, causing her to crash into a nearby bench. The bully girl, undeterred, called Chu Qing just a man and attempted to attack him, but he agilely dodged her blows. Just when things seemed to be escalating further, someone stepped in to intervene. It was Yi Mao, who happened to be nearby. The bully girl, recognizing Yi Mao as Yi Chenxi's brother, reluctantly backed down and decided to leave. As she retreated, she declared that it was only because of Yi Chenxi's relationship with Yi Mao that she was letting Chu Qing off the hook. Chu Qing, relieved to avoid further confrontation, watched her leave and pondered the complexities of this new world and his place in it. As Yi Mao started to apologize for what happened yesterday, Chu Qing's mind was consumed by the memory of the strange events that had brought him to this world. He remembered how he and Yi Mao had planned to go home together, but Yi Mao had to attend to some urgent business, so he'd arranged for his sister to give Chu Qing a ride. On the way, Yi Mao's sister had handed him a bottle of water, saying she had no other drinks but he could have that if he got thirsty. Chu Qing had accepted the water and drank it, but it turned out to be drugged, causing him to lose consciousness. Chu Qing interrupted Yi Mao's apology. Chu Qing couldn't believe that Yi Chenxi was back to confront him. The persistent and powerful young woman was making it clear that she wouldn't take no for an answer. He hesitated, his thoughts racing. What could she want now? Despite his apprehension, he eventually got into her car, realizing that she was hinting at something related to his family. With a heavy heart, he decided to listen and figure out what she was driving at. The curiosity about her world and the mysteries surrounding his arrival made him willing to explore even the most dangerous paths. Chu Qing cautiously entered the car with Yi Chenxi, their encounter having taken an intriguing turn. As they drove away, the dynamics between them remained tense. Chenxi insisted that she wasn't threatening him and expressed her willingness to help his sister and mother while also acknowledging the financial troubles his family was facing. Chu Qing couldn't shake the suspicion that there was more to her motives than met the eye. Still, he agreed to start their association as friends, keeping a watchful eye on Yi Chenxi's actions. As he stepped out of her car, he couldn't help but wonder about the complex path his life was taking in this unfamiliar world. As they traveled, Yi Chenxi couldn't help but delve deeper into the mystery of Chu Qing's true abilities. She asked him about practicing old martial arts, to which Chu Qing initially denied any involvement. He mentioned the common belief that men in this world couldn't cultivate martial arts. But Yi Chenxi was quick to notice the inconsistencies in his responses. She had conducted some investigations into his background and didn't find any connection to old martial arts. This revelation led her to suspect that Chu Qing was hiding a secret regarding his abilities, sparking her curiosity even more. Amid the chaos of the car crash, Chu Qing quickly shielded Chenxi with his own body, protecting her from harm. As the dust settled, Chenxi couldn't help but worry about his well-being and noted that he was injured. Ignoring his own condition, Chu Qing lifted her and leaped out of the wrecked car. Chenxi insisted they go to the hospital immediately, alarmed by Chu Qing's injuries. However, Chu Qing was more concerned about the danger that wasn't yet over. He spotted a group of people approaching with weapons, a threat that they needed to confront. Chenxi, with her fierce determination, confronted the group of people who had attacked them, defending Chu Qing. Chu Qing, too, didn't hold back and demonstrated his strength, wielding a golden blade to help defeat their assailants. After the battle, Chenxi praised him for his contribution, but he humbly deflected the credit. Chenxi suggested grabbing a meal, but Chu Qing had to decline, concerned about his family and the late hour. They decided to reschedule for another day. Chu Qing knew his father would be worried if he didn't return home soon. Suddenly, Chenxi received a phone call. "Hello? What happened?" She listened intently, her expression growing more serious. Chu Qing couldn't help but wonder what was going on. However, he thought to himself, well, that doesn't matter. Other people's family business isn't something a mere student like me could take care of. He began walking away, but before he could get too far, Chenxi stopped him and said, "My mom got hurt. She was assaulted just like us, and she's at home at this moment." Chu Qing was taken aback. "You and your mom were attacked at the same time? This can't be a coincidence. The Jinmen underworld is about to be shaken." Chenxi, with determination in her eyes, wiped away her tears and said, "If my mom dies, my aunt will take over, and I will surely be kicked out of the Yi family. That's for certain. What should I do?" Chu Qing comforted her, "Don't cry. I'll go with you. What's important is that you need to remain strong. Your family depends on you now. I might not be in a position to help you, but I can encourage you." Chenxi realized at that moment, what's going on? Why do I feel that I can trust this man's words? Touched by his support, she hugged him tightly. Upon arriving at the Yi family mansion, a servant greeted them and said, "My lady, you've finally arrived." Chenxi inquired about the situation, and the servant replied, "The situation is hard. I can't quite grasp it, but my lady, Yi Mei, said that no one would be allowed to enter besides you." Chu Qing asked, "Who is Yi Mei?" Chenxi explained, "She's my aunt. My mom said that she has been in the family for years and was conspiring with other families. But because there isn't any concrete proof, I can't do anything. I just didn't expect that my aunt would make her move first." As they approached the house door, the security guards stopped them and questioned, "Wait a minute. Who is he? He can't go in." Chenxi, now assertive, retorted, "How dare you mistreat my guest? Who do you think you are?" Chu Qing maintained his composure and responded confidently, "I'm a doctor, and I came here to verify Miss Ye's condition." He silently thought, "Luckily, I studied medicine in the fairy world. Those teachings will surely help me now." The security guards mocked him, questioning, "A doctor? Can a man be a doctor?" Chu Qing stared back at one of the guards and continued, "You've been suffering from an infection in your reproductive system for years, and you've had problems with your kidneys. Maybe it's because you've practiced martial arts for so long and adhered to traditional Chinese medicine, even if it's not providing any results, right?" After hearing his diagnosis, the guards were shocked and immediately allowed him to enter. Suddenly, Chenxi's aunt and daughter arrived. The aunt said, "Luckily, I came on time, otherwise I wouldn't know what happened." Chenxi asked Yi Mei, "Where is my mom right now? I want to see her." In response, they scolded her, saying, "What a rude kid. Shouldn't you respect the family hierarchy and call me aunt? Besides, how could you bring home that stranger? Any man is forbidden from joining the Yi family." Chenxi firmly replied, "He's a doctor. I called him. Let us go inside." However, Chenxi's aunt remained skeptical and said, "A doctor? A man? I thought he was someone I brought home a few days ago. If you want to join and prove yourself as a Yi family man, you need to have a certain ability. If not, you won't get past this door.